What would you like to see Scarlet Witch do next? Or where would you like to see her go?
My favorite is House of M, but that would never happen. But
never say never in this.
I mean, if she could have 2 fake babies and everyone tell her that they don't really exist, and then her just go nuts, that would be unbelievable. But I don't think they're gonna do that. It might be a little too dark for the Marvel universe. When she loses her mind, it's my favorite thing in the comics.
Twins. Wanda, you gave birth to 2 healthy, happy, beautiful twins.
Twins. Did you hear that? My husband. Twins.
This is a glorious day.
Now put it back. Wanda, we talked about this. Put it back. You have no children. There's no one in this room but you and me.
No, see? See my beautiful baby.
You cannot have children. You never could. Now stop abusing your mutant powers and put it back. You're only hurting yourself.
Are my children.
Don't speak to my wife.
Wanda, put the world back now.
No.
Put it back.
Are my children.
Never existed.
Oh God. I killed them. I killed the Avengers. I killed my husband.
I don't want to look at this. It's making me nauseous. I always find myself drawn to unstoppable forces. Inevitability, fate, power beyond understanding. Carly Rae Jepsen. That's what I feel in the opening panels of House of M. I don't want to look at this, but I can't look away. In my own ways, in the wake of regret and loss, I've sat with a bottle of vodka and I've done this. The idea of adapting House of M into the MCU by fusing it with the tragic Tom King arc of the Visions and their doomed attempt to live a normal suburban life. The promise is boiling at the utterance of the premise. So for the last month and a half, each Friday morning, when my brother and I ate breakfast on the couch queuing up the next episode of WandaVision, the only thought in my mind was, don't fuck it up. Checking the framing. How do I look? Am I sexy? Am I sexy? Part 1, hey, spoilers for everything. Yes, Starbucks. No, I don't know if it's ethically sourced. I don't care if it's ethically sourced. I hope children die. Fuck, don't say that. Lord, forgive me for being a basic bitch and deliver me from Claire's earrings. Part 2, you end where you began or somewhere else. A common criticism of this creation currently circulating that we call WandaVision is that it takes a while to get good. To which I say, fuck you, you're wrong, and I was the cause of that tragedy that befell your family when you were a child. The first 2 episodes of WandaVision are played as straight pastiches of 50s and 60s era sitcoms. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany honor the genre and period precisely. The set and costume design is on God mode. Everything true to form is quite nicely resolved by the end of the episode. A section of my childhood took place with these kind of sitcoms on loop constantly in the background off a DVD box set. Remember Physical Things? Old sitcoms and sitcoms in general are like a safety blanket. The comedy and story arcs don't necessarily challenge you, but it serves a function that is different than a life-changing, riveting piece of art.
Clearly there's some sitcoms on right now that aren't pushing the envelope, but are doing traditional things that really tickle large audiences and will for years and years to come, and some things don't change. And maybe comedy is sacred in that way, and that's okay to let it live there.
So what's the value of starting out WandaVision, a story that is not actually going to remain a sitcom for the entirety of its run? What's the value of starting it straight as a sitcom? I admire pieces of art that are willing to break form and convention to perform and demonstrate something that we're supposed to understand emotionally and thematically, rather than referring to it with the language that we're used to. My brother, Ben from Canada, who is more famous than me, but not for long, once said something that is really stupid, but low-key fucking genius. You either end a story where it began, or somewhere else. What I think is so useful about this stupid little self-defeating phrase is that it draws your attention to the start and end point of any given story, and it forces you to draw conclusions about the relationship between those two things. Lord of the Rings ends where it starts, but everything feels different. The weight of redemption, battle scars, trauma, it hangs like a blanket over everything and creates the meaning of that ending. A New Hope ends in a different place than it started. It takes the mundane and transforms it into the cosmic, epic, legendary bullshit that we are gonna be shoveling down our throats for the next millennia. And that's how we feel leaving the story. We started somewhere menial and we've ended somewhere mythological. So what meaning do we glean from the way that WandaVision is structured? Where does it start? Where does it end? Well, structurally, WandaVision starts inside of a sitcom, inside of safety, inside of all of Wanda's dreams, everything we're gonna lose bitterly by the end of the story. WandaVision's episodic structure and the way that information is doled out to us as viewers is meant to emphasize Wanda's growing cognizance of the horror that she's at the center of. It uses the genre and style and language of sitcom and breaks that language in order to communicate the emotional process that we're going through. Fortunately, I waited till the show was actually done to analyze it instead of cranking out weekly speculation videos longer than the actual episodes of television that they're analyzing, encouraging rabid fandom delusional expectations for my personal financial gain like a fucking animal. Motherfuckers out here reading Reddit comments into a microphone as a career because you guys have no patience. Because we have the context of the completed show, we can reference the entirety of it and we can actually piece together the chronological events, and you can actually see the moment that Wanda forgets who the fuck she is and what the fuck she did. Don't ask me how I know, but this is the face of an addict getting their first hit. Look at her. She's fucking high. That's that 3 a.m. MDMA smile. No thoughts, head empty. Ugh, I miss drugs. Don't make me famous too quickly. You know how that goes. Part 3, how much does she know? We can track Wanda's awareness of what she's done by combing through the episodes from 1 to 9 in order and focusing on the reality breaks and how they inform her mental state. This process will take up most of the video, so take a piss and light a candle and eat an edible, and if you're driving while listening to this, don't worry about looking at the road, just look at me and trust your gut. Episode 1, filmed before a live studio audience. During dinner, Wanda and Vision's guest starts asking about their past. Neither of them can answer. Both of them seem to have complete amnesia beyond this perfect, brand new, clean, empty template of a life that they're currently inside of. The guest becomes angry, demanding answers until they start choking perpetually without dying, and no one lifts a finger to help him. His wife, instead of showing concern, laughs and tells him to stop it as though he's playing some sort of prank, and she keeps repeating them, stop it, until she starts directing it at Wanda. This is the first reality break in the show, the first thing that doesn't jive with the sitcom format, and Wanda looks genuinely confused. Her lack of memory and her general vexation is authentic at this point in the narrative. Also, by the way, this is the first time someone chokes, which is low-key a running theme throughout the show. As Wanda stares perplexed at this unsettling scene unfolding in front of her, she finds herself required to speak to someone in order for it to stop. After which, of course, the episode wraps up very nicely. Episode 2, don't touch that dial. In episode 2, there are 3 main reality breaks. I'm gonna deal with them out of order, but they will all become wrapped in a beautiful little bow at the end of this segment. While Wanda is trying to ingratiate herself to Dottie, the town authoritarian wine mom, 2 unusual things happen at the same time. First of all, Dottie inexplicably thinks Wanda is evil and says it right to her goddamn face, and then, directly afterwards, the radio starts bugging out. This is a voice from the real world breaking into her reality. She's concretely reminded that there is a universe outside of what she's currently living. And we see on her face, for the first of many times, she is mortally afraid. She has a similar reaction to the first appearance of color in her black and white world when she finds that little drone in her bush. She hides the color like it's a dirty secret she doesn't want people to see, like it's incriminating personally. Speaking of the sound crim, the radio scene tension breaks when Dottie clutches her glass so hard it shatters in her hand and she bleeds bright crimson red. And what do Dottie's blood and this one plane have to do with each other? Why are these 2 things the only things that are connected by color in a black and white world? It's that the outside world and the residents of Westview getting hurt are both incompatible with Wanda's fantasy. And of course, at the end of this episode, we experience the 3rd moment of incongruence, where a beekeeper emerges from a manhole. It doesn't fit the sitcom. It ruins the show. And as a reaction, Wanda, for the very first time, exercises conscious authority over her reality. Like Simon Peter before her, she denies God thrice. In this moment, she learns that she can author out parts of her reality that she doesn't want to experience.
Is this really happening?
Yes, my love. It's really happened. It's really happened. If it's that damn tree again.
This newfound power, unconsciously or consciously, immediately takes effect, where she updates the world into color to accommodate the incongruence from the day prior, and of course she dreams up a pregnancy, stepping deeper into this perfect pedestrian fantasy. At this point, Wanda may not understand her reality, but she knows that she can help it continue when she needs to. Episode 3, now in color. In this episode, robbing people of their agency evolves to a conscious act rather than a reaction of panic. Vision and Wanda came into this reality without any memory or cruel intention, simply ready to love each other and live their small town suburban life. But neither of them are stupid. They're both seeing the glitches. They're both feeling a sense of wrongness in the world's apparent need to appease them. And they have two different reactions to this. Wanda decides that it's not worth investigation, but Vision has a healthier, more balanced reaction. He initiates a direct, intimate conversation with his partner, where he lists the events that are incongruous with this sitcom and how there's something that clearly needs to be solved as a result of it. There's answers that we do not have. The details he lists are pieces of this reality that Wanda could not unwrite. She wasn't there for it, or it's too far back in the past now. This is the moment. If Vision were allowed to continue, if Wanda allowed this frank, difficult conversation to take place, they could start working this out together. Before it's gone too far, before there's too much blood on her hands, before she irrevocably complicates things by fantasizing two children's souls into being. But Wanda is not ready for that.
I think something's wrong here, Wanda. Yes, I know what you mean. I'm anxious too.
We just don't know what to expect.
She edited her husband's free will. She doesn't want the intimacy that her husband is offering willingly, because intimacy means the truth, and the truth means that she's not gonna get her fucking fix tonight. That's the face of a fiend who might not get well unless she buries this now. From this moment forth, she understands that whatever's happening, her husband thinks it's wrong, and she's choosing to edit reality so that a serious examination never comes up. This is becoming a matter of choice. Episode 4, and we interrupt this program. However all this started, it did not start with Monica Rambeau inside of it. She came from the outside. She's a trained soldier that arrived in order to solve a situation, and she stepped into the fantasy. Monica is a person that genuinely wants to help. And we know how Wanda feels about intimacy at the moment.
Who are you?
The thing about Monica is that she comes to be an extremely sore spot for Wanda, for good reason. As Rambeau points out later in the show, Wanda seeks out Monica. She finds this person and this energy and this soul, and she writes her into her life as a relatable friend, someone that is close enough to fucking deliver her babies. She invites Rambeau into her home willingly, and she even relaxes so much that she lets the mask slip for a moment and some of her memories come back.
I'm a twin. I had a brother. His name was Pietro.
He was killed by Ultron, wasn't he?
What did you say?
So Wanda violently yeets her through several walls at Mach 10. The reason Wanda hates Monica so goddamn much, the reason that she rejects any suggestion that Rambeau might be her friend here to help, is because Monica knows too much. She's a person under her spell who has a tongue to speak, who can testify to the truth of the situation.
By your own account, you described the experience of being under her mind control as excruciating, terrifying. Violation.
And truth is not something she can afford right now. It jeopardizes the operation, so she needs to invalidate Monica's experience.
Don't talk to me about that. I don't want to hear about it. All you do is lie.
She chalks up everything Monica says to a lie, and she resorts to violence twice. You're starting to look scary. Episode 5, on a very special episode. In episode 5, Wanda gaslights the shit out of Vision. This episode concludes with a domestic abuse incident, with two partners screaming horrifically at each other. And who the perpetrator is of the abuse is slightly obfuscated by our conditioning. If you see a man screaming at the top of his lungs angrily, and your brain goes, that's domestic abuse,
Stop lying to me!
You have your brain a little too watered by Instagram infographics, I'm sorry to say. Vision is having a regular reaction to being not treated like a fucking person.
You can't control me the way you do them.
Can't I?
Do you really think that I am controlling everything? That I am somehow in charge of everybody in Westview?
Lying to his face, calling him crazy, belittling his emotions. You want to talk power imbalance? Imagine dating God. Wanda restricts Vision from understanding his universe, from his memories, from the truth. Everyone that Vision interacts with is just a puppet of Wanda, and then she acts shocked when he's reduced to a screaming, terrified mess.
I can't remember my life before Westview. I don't know who I am. I'm scared.
All Vision is doing is being honest and drawing attention to all the fucked up stuff that Wanda is ignoring or repressing.
Wonder why are there no other children in Westview?
Look, there are. Just stop it.
Oh no.
Fuck, don't ask about the children. Fuck, I don't know. What did I do with the children? Halloween episode tomorrow where there's children. How is she rationalizing this? Episode 6, all new Halloween Spooktacular. Why are we born? The increased level of irreverence that is commonplace in sitcoms as we progress through the years imitates Wanda's character progression. Women in sitcoms through the 50s and 60s were more likely than not to be portrayed as porcelain dolls of femininity, fulfilling their womanly duties and posing picturesquely for the glorious, overpowering strength of the male gaze. I mean male gaze, not male gaze. In shows like Malcolm in the Middle and Modern Family, women and mothers in homes start to be able to be portrayed as a hot, chaotic mess. And because the writers of WandaVision gave a shit about what they were doing, they incorporated the conventions of each era to coincide with her mental state. At this point in the show, Wanda still doesn't have a clear picture of what she's doing or how she did it and doesn't have a firm memory of the moment that it started, but she does know that she's in control and she's manipulating and lying to people just so that she can keep it going. In the morning of this episode, Wanda has awoken the children specifically to rebuke Vision's valid point about there being no kids around ever, and she's also replaced Vision's whole wardrobe so it's just one Halloween costume and he's forced to play along with her sick fantasy.
Thank you for humoring me and wearing this ridiculous getup, honey.
Well, there were no other clothes in my closet, so.
She also drops a giant Freudian slip that completely disregards him as a person. Hey, how are you?
Well, you have fun tonight, darling?
What? But no, that's not what you're supposed to.
What?
Well,
in this episode, we get a lot of information about what Wanda knows and what she doesn't because her brother coaxes it out of her. Her fake new brother points out that it's a good ethical decision that she made to keep all the children asleep until a time such as this. If you're going to puppet people around, don't puppet around a 6-year-old.
Where were you hiding all these kids up till now?
what?
I assume they were all just sleeping peacefully in their beds. No need to traumatize beyond the occasional holiday episode cameo, am I right?
No,
You were always the empathetic twin.
I didn't.
Even as her brother very, very clearly understands what's going on and isn't afraid of talking to her about it, she still doesn't cop to it until he validates her indulgence. He says what you're doing is impressive. Mom and Dad would have loved this. I'm not your husband, I'm not a cop, I'm not gonna make you stop, you can talk to me. Ooh, delicious. A taste of fucking opium. So she dips her pinky back in the bag for another taste.
You don't think it's wrong.
Are you kidding? I'm impressed.
When someone tells her to her face, this is wrong, she gaslights them, robs them of agency, and silences them. When someone says, this is cool, she says, you don't think it's wrong? She won't let someone speak unless they're affirming what she wants to hear. Episode 7, Breaking the Fourth Wall. We know that Wanda can use her powers unconsciously.
Oh, did I do that? I didn't mean to.
And as her psyche becomes stretched, as her marriage is corroded by her dishonesty, as she expands the borders of her massive experiment, she loses more and more control. This is supposed to be a coping mechanism, and a bitch can't even make cereal without her milk transmutating multiple times.
Do you think maybe this is what you deserve?
What? You're not supposed to talk.
Her loved ones being close to her is incompatible with her dosing recklessly, so she pushes them away.
What? I'll be fine. Just go with Agnes.
I think that Wanda is creating these to stop me returning home.
And the last goddamn thing that she needs is this bitch Monica coming in again.
Wanda! What are you doing? Wanda, how did you get in here? Get out of my house.
This is demonstrative of the psychology of addiction. When a vice is destroying your life and separating you from the things and people you love, but you will kill someone if they try to take it away from you. Wanda can't stop now, even with the negative repercussions outweighing the benefits tenfold, especially then.
Wanda, you have to take it down. No.
And it is in this state that Wanda's abusive therapist makes herself explicitly known. Agatha all along. Wanda's neighbor is secretly an evil witch who likes to rob people of their magical powers. And the way that she's framed in this story is Very interesting. She's been trying to get Wanda to admit what she's done and how she's done it for her own selfish reasons, but still, in effect, she's doing the same thing that Monica and Vision are doing. She's trying to get Wanda to admit reality. Her methods may be a little unnecessarily sadistic, but who hasn't forced someone to relive their trauma then strangled their children in front of them? What therapist hasn't told their patient that they're inherently broken and they can never be fixed? Is that not like a normal thing for your therapist to text you? Episode 8, previously on. This episode is dedicated to walking through all the traumatic events that led to the cathartic moment of sadness that created the hex unconsciously. Just raw dogging memory. This does two things to Wanda's cognizance and self-awareness. On one hand, it makes her extremely aware of the truth that she is the sole creator of what is happening here. No one else is responsible. The other thing that she confronts is the plastic nature of what she's done. How on some level, it's pathetic. It's artifice. The shot where you see the overhead lights illuminating her home is not just a cute visual. It's Wanda finally making eye contact with her lack of self-respect, with the lack of respect she has for her husband, with a refusal to accept responsibility, accountability. It's clarity.
I don't know how any of this started.
You made it, because you were sad. And it's fake, but it made you happy. So you thought it was worth throwing away all of your memories and responsibility. Episode 9, the series finale. Wanda now knows that she's fucked up on some level. Specifically, she knows that she's pushed her husband away and manipulated him when he could have helped her solve this issue that is now extremely urgent. Hostile forces are coming to destroy her family, and the issue has been exacerbated greatly by her negligence and avoidance. She also now knows that the Vision that she's married to with 2 children is not the real Vision. So, when the real Vision shows up right behind her, this is the Vision from outside the Hex. The real Vision. Maybe this is an out. Maybe this is the thing that is worth leaving her fantasy for. Except he wants to crush her skull, doesn't he?
Oh! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now!
She is saved by Hex Vision, the Vision whom she has a family with. He immediately proves himself as the Vision that matters in this situation with his priorities, because the first thing he says is, "Where are the children?"
Where are the boys?
Right, what was I thinking? Even if that was the real Vision, I'd still have to deal with my fake Vision and my 2 fake kids. So Wanda finally admits that she is God of the universe and she made a mistake when she gaslit her husband into screaming out of fear.
I should have told you everything. The moment I realized what I had done.
It's all right, Wanda. I know why you made this world, but this...
I can fix it.
Can you?
Spoilers, she can't. A few things from this exchange. First of all, Vision is not letting her off easy. He's being charitable and graceful, sure, but he is just asserting the same thing he's already been saying, this time with an added layer of empathy.
I think something's wrong here, Wanda. What you're doing here, it's wrong. I know why you made this world, but this...
I can fix it.
But she hasn't broken down her corrupted beliefs yet. She's still justifying what she's done. She's pointing to it as good, but complicated. It's still ours.
Vision. This is our home.
The breaking down of this rationalization requires one last piece of information, the one thing that Wanda still hasn't been confronted with, the one thing that she still hasn't accepted. And next part, part 4, the lie. That's right, all of that was part 3. I don't pick how long the parts are, they come like that. So the big action moments of the finale of WandaVision come in the form of a cute little switcheroo in the witch battle and then a philosophy 101 debate between Vision and Vision. This is great, these parts are good, but it's not the center of the psychological horror of WandaVision. It's not the breaking point for Wanda where she realizes she has to take down the Hex. That part happens when her abusive therapist starts freeing Wanda's subjects. And now we finally find out in writing how Wanda has really been justifying all of this. What story has she been telling herself to make it make sense?
Wanda?
Dottie.
My name is Sarah. I have a daughter. She's 8. She could be friends with your boys. If you like that storyline, really anything, if you could just let her out of her room, if I could just hold her, please.
What are you doing to her? You're making her say this.
I'm exhausted.
Oh, you're fine. I've kept you safe in here. You feel at peace. We feel your pain.
Your grief is poisoning us.
No, stop.
Oh. What is rationalization? How do we justify abuse of a thing of a habit, of a person. Any analysis will tell us that what we're doing is wrong. It's having deleterious effects. It is not a good thing. So we need to invent a reason that we are doing it that we can defend. The reason doesn't have to hold to scrutiny. It doesn't need evidence. All it needs to do is make it make logical sense that we're doing what we're doing so we can cling to it as the lifeline, as the reason to keep dipping our fingers in the bag. This was Wanda's reason. She was at peace. Everyone was at peace. We all like it here. She ran away from intimacy. She obstructed any attempt at pursuing the truth because she needed it to be true, that everyone in Westview was happy. That's the only way she could keep dosing. She makes it make sense.
You let us sleep. We have your nightmares.
No, that's not true.
I can't remember my life before Westview. I don't know who I am.
You are my husband. You're Tommy and Billy's father. Isn't that enough?
We can't reverse death, no matter how sad it makes us.
What hurts so bad about the opening pages of House of M and the duration of WandaVision is not denial. What's so sad is she genuinely believes this baseless belief that what she's doing is good and okay. She genuinely doesn't know how the fantasy started. She genuinely doesn't know that people are suffering as a result of her actions. She just craves the thing that she's doing so bad that she doesn't seek out the truth of those things. Anything so she can keep believing this lie that she's telling herself. The real fantasy wasn't Westview, it wasn't the sitcom, it wasn't Vision, it wasn't her kids. The real fantasy was that everyone in Westview was okay with what she was doing, that this was her home, that she deserved to protect it. Wanda's the intruder. Not Monica, not Hayward, not Agatha. Wanda. And she's so afraid of this truth, she can't even believe it when they're saying it to her face. She doesn't believe them until their despair and pleading drives her to a place of desperate panic, just like the moment she started all of this. And it makes literal what she's been doing to them psychologically. Oh God. Part 5, oh God. So after unavoidable reality has been revealed to Wanda and the kicking and punching and lasers are done, she walks home with her family and slowly lets go of her stranglehold of Westview. In their house, tucking in their children, it is uncertain what they're going to say to their fake babies that are about to die. Vision starts a sentence and we get the familiar fear of God facial expression from Wanda. The face of a deer looking at an incoming train of horrifying truth that will destroy your joy.
Your mother and I.
And Vision gives Wanda one final scrap of relief while simultaneously not telling the kids that you were born from cursed nothingness and that nothingness is coming to reclaim you.
Very proud of you both.
And as the fantasy collapses, the final thing that Wanda does inside of it is embrace that intimacy that has been so elusive and scary. After some cute, regular, romantic goodbye, Vision moves to ask her a question. And Wanda experiences the fear of God, but this time she doesn't stop it. She allows it to happen. And Vision, with bottomless love for his wife and bottomless curiosity for life, doesn't waste his final moments saying, "I told you so." And he doesn't dishonor his own existence and dignity by being like, "I woke up the other Vision's memories, so maybe you'll get remarried one day." He's gonna die. He just asks,
"What am I?"
Good question. And Wanda finally answers, "You're everything that I had of you inside of me. The literal manifestation of my love and hope." Vision cries upon hearing this, and his wife wipes the tear away, but he grabs her hand before she can dry it off, and he takes the tear off of her fingertips and looks at it. What is this? A tear wept by a memory? A creature dead already, losing its ghost now in addition to its body long past? How do magnets work? The end of this 9-part series is inconclusive as fuck. It leads into other things. The only thing that has a clean, complete ending is WandaVision, the metatextual show as well as in-universe. This show said, fuck closure. Look at Elizabeth Olsen's range. And I got what I wanted. I got that nauseous feeling that I get at the start of House of M. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. Look around your room, and the amount of used cups is the amount of push-ups you have to do right now. If you give me money on Patreon, I'll kill you. This coffee is gross now. It's cold. I don't want it. I don't want it. WandaVision's good. Read House of M. If you want to find me on social media, go to the description for my Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to find me in real life, I'll be in your grandma's backyard with a suitcase full of Game Cubes, giving really ominous answers when you ask me why I'm there. I'm here to observe. You don't know yet, but this place will be the nexus of what is to come. Do you want a GameCube?
I think I'm an addict, want the world and I'ma have it. I'm so fucking dramatic, got all my bones up in the attic, and I dance them all around like a marionette.
Shout out to my Patreons who are on screen now, the bold and the few. And shout out to Lauren McGinty from Screen Rant, who lent her voice for Wanda Maximoff. You're one of the most talented people I know, and you have been since high school.